Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And I am Amabel.
and welcome back to Godzilla Voxel Wars.
Yay!
Where I think we're gonna take on the rest of this like Dark World harder puzzle stuff later. Let's just actually complete the front side of this map first, shall we?
Okay.
So
I want to meet more friends.
It would be cool to meet more friends. Is this a friend here at the
Maybe.
top? Let's move on to Light Seen from the Window, which is the name of this level for some reason. Okay, we got some yellow energy, which is okay. Gold G power can be used in place of G power of other colors. Clearing the stage without using gold G power awards 2 additional points. Okay. Well, I gotta tell you, it doesn't feel like we're gonna be doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to spawn a friend here. And I guess it's gotta be Anguirus, right? Because Rodan will just shove him into the building.
Yeah.
Oops, no, that was right. Get him. I gotta be careful where I click. The game interprets a lot of things as attempts to cancel intent. Wait, this is problematic. How am I gonna...
Yeah.
We can certainly destroy one of these. Like, I could spawn Rodan and push Godzilla into this, or we could Anguirus across to it, but how would we deal with the corner? What's your brilliant plan here, Amabel?
Oh.
Damn.
Oh. Okay.
What's up?
Go back to turn 1.
Okay.
Instead of spawning the Anguirus, spawn the Rodan.
Like down here and push Godzilla into the monster, or?
Well, I was going to suggest pushing the monster into... Well, if the monster attacks the building, it'll just do 1 damage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so push Godzilla into the monster.
Yeah. That's...
No, that doesn't do it either. Okay, never mind. My plan was to push the monster over so it could destroy that building, but it can't do that.
Well, it would knock it into this building, and the building and the monster would both take damage.
Look, I'm not good at
It wouldn't
puzzles.
destroy the building, but it would damage the building. And we're supposed to take 0 damage here. We're supposed to take 0 damage on our buildings. I should specify. But no, this is the plan. I gotta remember the tech of using Godzilla as a weapon, because the existing Rodan can make it all the way over here.
Oh.
And
Okay,
then
and
we can
then-
spawn an Anguirus. Again, the game interprets that as cancellation. There we go.
See, I'm good at monsters and at how they destroy stuff. Real good. I'm not good at destroying specific stuff by specific turn numbers. That's more, your remit.
The solving of the puzzles.
The solving the puzzles more your thing.
Okay.
I'm just gonna talk about how much I love.
You are here to know about Godzilla, because I do
Yeah.
not. So, what is this? We have fungus garbage on the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know how to interact with that. An enemy will appear on this square next turn. You can prevent the enemy from appearing by placing a unit on this square, but the unit will take damage. Hey,
Oh, I've never heard of this mechanic before.
hey, that's familiar. I wonder where they got that idea. Fungarus 1 will be born. That's a fun way to express that. So we can't. There's no way to actually interact with that, because we don't have any G power that we can use to summon friends. So we're just gonna do this. But we get to block this one.
Okay.
That'll show him. What do you think that feels like?
what feels like?
Blocking a spawn from below like that.
Oof. Gosh. I think it would tickle.
Are you ready for the most anticlimactic victory moment? It doesn't even do the little zoom in and spin thing. So, yep, you stood there. Great work. Platinum stars for standing there. The investigation report Dad left. Courage found in fear. These levels have
titles.
Yeah. The titles are something.
And they're not very many particular references I'm picking up on.
That actually, I think, is an investigation report. You can acquire them by moving monsters or objects to the tiles they're on. Just make sure the enemy doesn't get to them first, because the enemy will tear them in half. Cruelties. Well, it feels to me like we probably want a spawn block here, right?
Yeah.
And then Anguirus will be the one who picks up the investigation report, I suppose. I think Anguirus is probably literate. That's my feeling. Oh no! He is a little dead. He's a small amount dead. It's fine. He picked the thing up on his way to the grave. Okay, so first of all, the investigation reports factor into your score. So if we want those sweet, sweet G tickets, we do have to take them seriously. There were confidential items in the documents for the first Mars expedition. Apparently, it was a colleague of mine who'd stumbled across them. I'm curious to know what's inside, however. That's it. That's the whole thing. There's plot. There's gonna be plot. Amabel, let's talk about Godzilla movies.
Okay.
Usually in a Godzilla movie, there's kind of like two layers of stuff happening, right? There's fun monster times.
Mm-hmm.
The fun monster time show is occurring.
Mm-hmm.
There also often is a different thing happening, though, where human agents, often of the civilian government, are talking and having a lot of feelings. That stuff. So we talked about how I like Godzilla in theory, often not so much in execution, and a lot of it comes down to that. A lot of it comes down to I think that stuff is often not so great.
Yeah, I would agree with you. The human plots are my least favorite part, especially when I was a kid. I really was like, why are we spending time on the people? I want to see the monsters who I identify with. Now, I've come to enjoy a lot of them more now. Some of them are very silly, like espionage plots. Mm-hmm. Like Godzilla vs. Ibira has a fun one with some like basically like a secret villain organization, kind of like who's the one that the Blowfield is in charge of? Like that, like a Death Ray kind of thing.
Okay.
You get some aliens who invade. You get some alien plots. Those can be fun sometimes. In the 70s, you have a lot of movies that are aimed at kids, so the plots are about kids, mostly. Those can be fun. There's one, I think Godzilla vs. Gigan, has basically like a little Scooby-Doo crew trying to solve a mystery. Mm-hmm. And that's a little bit fun. Terror of Mechagodzilla has like this doomed love story that ends with one of my favorite lines, when the girl ends up tragically dying, and the man cradling her says, "I love you even though you're a cyborg." That's very good. I would say generally Godzilla plot's not great. probably the best human plot I've seen in a kaiju film is in Gamera 3 Revenge of Iris, which you have seen and you did not care for the human plot in that. I definitely think with the once you move past the Showa era, you get into the 80s and 90s Godzilla and Gamera films, you have a lot more focus on monster action. There's still human stuff, but it's usually less boring, and it's not the thing where you have 10 minutes of monster at the end, but monster throughout. I will say, earlier this week, last week actually, I went to the theater in the morning for a matinee showing of Godzilla -1. And actually, the human story there is quite rad. Like, it's actually a legitimately good human story. Probably because in that movie, Godzilla is kind of, instead of a metaphor for like atomic fears or fears about like genetic modification, which is what it becomes in the 80s for a lot of the time, Godzilla is a metaphor for like war trauma, and it's about someone traumatized by war. So I think that is a really effective human plot that's really tied into the kaiju plot. I definitely think you probably would enjoy Godzilla films if you just had like a supercut of the fun action wrestling shenanigans. Is my
oh no, this plan kills Godzilla.
You can't do that.
The destruction of Godzilla results in defeat. I will point out though that we did also defeat the monsters.
Yeah.
Fine.
Someone else needs to stand there, I think.
I'm having a little bit of trouble with this one. This one's a little trickier.
Was I distracting you with my Godzilla monologue?
No, it was quite a monologue though. The point I was making when I asked you that yes or no question was that I am concerned that this investigation report stuff is gonna veer into the territory of the reason that I don't like many of the Godzilla films. Not that I don't like them, but that I do fall asleep while watching them. Okay, so here's my problem with this level. I can't figure out a way to cover all the spawns. We have resources for 2 Rodans and an Anguirus, right?
Okay.
This is the only thing we can attack on the first turn. And if we're gonna block this spawn, it feels like this is the thing. We have to spawn a Rodan. Spawning a Rodan here and performing this attack blocks us a spawn, it gets us a building. That stuff all feels correct.
Okay.
But now we have to block 3 spawns. We have to be cleared before the next turn begins. This does have to be all spawn blocking. And I'm not sure how to do it in a way that doesn't result in Godzilla's death.
Okay, so first, Godzilla's gonna
destroy this building, obviously.
Yeah. That gives you the stuff to spawn. Okay, so what if you spawned and then Gyrus and sent it at that other building?
This Rodan has enough. I think I see it. This Rodan has enough movement to get over here. I think what we actually do here, tricksily enough, is this Rodan moves to there. And attacks or whatever, it doesn't matter. We do solve this problem with an Anguirus. And then we actually cover this with Godzilla, which is a very similar solution to the last time, but it moves one of the points of damage off of the Godzilla effectively.
Okay.
And a Rodan dies, but listen, you can lose a Rodan. Nobody cares. Yeah, nobody cares about that.
Yeah, if it was Mothra, I'd have an issue. I will say, I believe we have access to a copy of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah from the 90s, which I'm not saying it's a good movie, but the plot is bonkers, and maybe you would enjoy the human plot there just from how bonkers it is.
What is happening here? What is... Hold on, UI.
Ooh.
A parasitized Mothra larva. Okay, deals 1 damage to the center of the attack range, knocks targets back 4 tiles in any direction. Interesting.
That makes sense. That kind of makes. I feel like it should be more of a web entanglement thing than a pushing thing, but it still makes sense to me.
So if we have the Godzilla stand here and blow this building up, enemies attack from the north corner to the south corner. So the Mothra will attack before this thing has a chance to go off, and we'll be able to kill it with Godzilla and his incredible strength. But it's not clear to me exactly how else I want to do. Like we could. Okay, here's a thought. I don't know that this is right. But we could spawn an Anguirus here, rush this building, and we won't kill the building, but then when the Mothra thing happens...
I will kill the building.
It will kill the building.
Okay.
And then we can have Anguirus charge the Mothra onto the spawn to block it, and Godzilla can come down here and knock over a building. Hell yeah, Godzilla. Wait, that building has 3 HP. Then Godzilla can come over here and try to destroy this building. I did not realize it doesn't look any taller. Anyway, I think this is the answer.
Okay. Yeah.
It is critically important that we just slam Godzilla against objects, creatures, whatever happens to be nearby all of the time.
I like that. Something I like about Into the Breach as well is the
Mothra larva.
Is the way that you can push things into things, and I like the pushing stuff around kind of thing. When I did my kaiju game, it was very much pushing monsters and into buildings and throwing them around. That's fun stuff.
Oh, we're gonna have to use the Mothra. Clear within 1 turns. Okay. Let's see, it says Mothra larva can pass over obstacles, but what it means is shoot over obstacles. That's a little bit of an odd way to word that.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the positioning for this? Because we don't want to destroy the positioning for this is like this. Hold on. I was trying to figure out how do we shoot that thing, but the idea is you spawn the first Mothra larva here, and then that creates the conditions for more Mothra larva. You have to chain spawn this direction or else.
Off of the Mothra, okay.
Yeah.
That's neat.
That is neat. I do love a good artillery unit in Into the Breach. Happy to have a Mothra larva on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize that we were going to get Mothra in like stages.
I mean, that makes sense.
But that's fun.
Now, what I would like is when they bring in the big Mothra, if they could play the Mothra theme, I would like that very much.
It's true. We have not... This is authentic Godzilla music, right? But it's not like a lot of authentic Godzilla music. It has so far been a limited amount.
And like, to be fair, no one gives a fuck about Rodan's theme. Let's be honest, Rodan sucks ass, but...
Ooh, sick burn. Take that, all of the Rodan fans out there.
There aren't any.
Frodans?
No.
Do they have a name?
I can't imagine.
Aha, take that.
Oh.
This is wrong. Hold on. We gotta block this spawn, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, no, this works fine. Little dude. Okay, yes, little dude does have enough movement to grab the investigation report. It's critically important. All right, the fact that you have been informed of a spawn does not mean that you need to block it to clear the level. That is a good piece of like designer puzzle logic. They are not trying to signal that to us. All right, what's in this investigation report? Volume 12, page 12, presumably. The mushrooms are eroding buildings one after another. It looks like they're changing them into nests. Well, that's what the people here are calling them. There's no saving the buildings that have become nests. They have to be destroyed. That's just rules text that we got 15 levels ago.
Yeah.
That's not okay. All right.
And at least it's not a plot, but
it's the beginnings of a plot. Okay. Well, looks like this fella's gonna take a little while to get over to threat.
You know, one thing about the Showa-era Godzilla films with the human plots is that as much as they're about trying to deal with Godzilla or whatever monster Godzilla has to fight, they're generally less focused on, like, military solutions, whereas once you get into the 80s and 90s, the films are entirely about, like, how do we weapon good against Godzilla?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not as big a fan of those.
Okay, so this is a bit of a challenge. I can absolutely kill that creature. Godzilla's a little bit too far away, but we can use Mothra. Like, I could step the Mothra larva over to here. We could fire there to push Godzilla down a square, and then Godzilla will be in range to kill the thing. But it doesn't clear the nest. I'm wondering if there's a position... Oh yeah, I'm being ridiculous. What am I? Why did I shoot directly at the fungal bee? Fungal bee 1, also known as fungal beetle. When I could do what I could shoot here.
It does seem like a better way to do it.
Why do damage to enemies when you can push things? Pushing things is the most important part of this game. Particularly when those things are Godzilla.
Yeah.
More than anything, this is a game about pushing Godzilla, and I think that it does feel a little bit like bullying.
You know what I would like to see very much is this version of this little voxel version of Godzilla to do the air kick he does in Godzilla vs. Megalon. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I believe I do, where he sort of just rotates in the air and then flies bottom first.
Yes! It's so good! I love it so much!
Okay, well, this feels like a no-brainer, and then, I mean, you're gonna have to get an Anguirus down if you want to get across the map here. And then we're going to need Godzilla to pick up this building. And now we have until the end of next turn. Godzilla can reach the nest. And Anguirus can only destroy this. And I don't know that it matters particularly where we do it from. I guess I'm gonna do it from here. Because in either way, we would have been able to reach that to destroy it as well. And then does the Mothra larva, like, we could spawn it here and just have it shooting at like the middle building, because we do have to do enough damage to that building to
yeah.
Have to start working on it now to ensure we can get it down. And then it's like, we get the fuel for our Rodan. And Anguirus sacrifices himself bravely to headbutt a building. You're gonna step forward before you do anything else. Well, I was gonna spawn the Rodan here and hurl the Mothra at that thing, but actually, given what we've just learned about what really matters in this game, I suppose the heroic thing to do here would be to chuck a Godzilla at that building.
No, that makes sense.
Perfect strategy. There should be a 1-star bonus for through Godzilla at something. You should not be able to get the perfect strategy bonus if you didn't whip Godzilla at somebody during the level.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not trying to be problematic here, but I think Godzilla likes being bullied. I think Godzilla's into that.
Who among us, you know? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, it's like a boss fight.
Amabel, what's up with this music? Is this...
Oh, hang on, let me... I don't recognize this offhand. It could be music from a Godzilla film, but if it is, it would have to be probably Heisei era or Millennium era, because I've seen all the Showa films multiple times. I've only seen the other films once or twice a piece, depending.
I feel like this has got to be right. The amount of nests on the map.
Yeah.
We got to get the boss to deal with some of these nests for us. So I'm not allowed to summon another Rodan, interestingly.
Okay.
It feels to me like so we're gonna be able to create an Anguirus this turn. But that doesn't feel like enough of a solution. Well, you know what? Okay, so we're going to get the Rodan down here. We need the mobility. We're just going to have to whip Godzilla at our problems. We can push the boss once with this and then spawn the Anguirus necessary to push the boss again. There we go. That gets the attack pattern in the right position.
Okay.
Yeah, it had to, there had to be a double push, and I just had to figure out where it was. So you have 4 HP remaining, and we still need to kill this nest up here too. What is the right way to approach this? We have to get the fungal beetle. They just like Seraph. Use a font that has serifs. Come on. Or a space. Space is good too. 4 damage is Godzilla plus 2 other monsters hitting him. Or we gotta knock him into a wall. Something, you know.
Or knock him into a fungal beetle?
I don't see how that could happen.
Could you not Rodan the fungal beetle behind the boss?
Well, that'll kill it though. So it won't be there to knock into.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I forgot it takes damage when it hits the mouth.
I think that is almost certainly what we're doing to the bee. It's just I don't know what to do. Like we can how do we make the Anguirus? Because the Anguirus has to deal damage to the boss by putting itself in the way of everybody else's attack. Or wait, yeah. Did we determined we can we can walk Godzilla through Anguirus, right?
Yeah.
If I do this, Godzilla can just okay. So that's interesting. That actually gives us a solution because now we can do this. I can spawn the larva here.
Take care of that building, and then Godzilla can.
Yeah, and then Godzilla can finish things off.
Finish it off. Yeah!
You gotta get your climactic blow from the breath weapon, obviously. Yeah, the reason that was not jumping out to me is I thought the Anguirus, I was treating the Anguirus as a wall for Godzilla's. But in fact, no Anguirus can stop a Godzilla, as we have seen on many occasions. My mom's work had us moving to South America when I was in elementary school. She was a biologist and always seemed busy with her job. Line break, comma. But when Dad disappeared, she had to raise me by herself. Because we moved a lot, I struggled to make friends. So I spent all my time playing with figures in a world of make-believe. Actually, this was around the time those alien mushrooms I called were were officially named fungoids. That's an oddly written line. Okay, build stage, player ranking, stage ranking. Hey, there's a level editor. That's cool. Do we want to... Wait. Okay, there's a backside to the level, so you can jump right to the backside of the individual worlds. That's cool, I guess. I kind of want to let's just keep going for...
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to meet more friends.
Aha! Oh, that's a friend.
Oh.
Parasitized machine.
Oh.
That's a good friend right there.
I have so many feelings about a Mechagodzilla.
Okay, well, I do feel like we're going to be able to just kind of let this Mechagodzilla do his thing. Oh, he shoots missiles. That's rad.
No, that makes sense.
We're just gonna stay out of his way. Very good. Very cool. That's less cool. So I believe the maneuver here... Okay, we're gonna have to do 1 damage. And then spawn this Anguirus just to block. It's very important that the Mechagodzilla not take another point of damage until after he has successfully blocked the spawn.
Gotcha. How much do you know about Mechagodzilla?
This is a very dramatic "look out, sir" from the Anguirus there. I don't really know very much about Mechagodzilla. Would you like to tell us something?
Yes.
Please do.
Mechagodzilla first appears in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, where he is pretending to he's a robot built by aliens, a remote control robot, not really a mech, who is disguised as Godzilla. Everyone thinks Godzilla's turned bad, but no, it's a robot. Okay, hang on.
Godzilla is not... Yeah, okay, we saw how his attack works.
Yeah.
We know what's up.
Godzilla defeats him.
Ooh, he requires the use of your gold G-Power. That's an expensive friend right there.
Yeah. Godzilla defeats him with the help of King Caesar, who is a god and a lion, by twisting off his head. That's pretty good. The following film, Terror Mechagodzilla, those aliens are back and they rebuild the robot, not even pretend to be Godzilla anymore, and they're going to have a fight about it, and Godzilla kills him pretty dead again. That's the last Showa-era Godzilla film. The next time we see a Mechagodzilla of sorts, is in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, where there's a Mecha King Ghidorah, which is like a cyborg King Ghidorah, and King Ghidorah was a monster from the future deposited in the past when they were trying to research Godzilla's World War II service. And that's the first... That's the first time that we get the idea of a Mechagodzilla made from parts of a monster, and that's given further form in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, which is not a sequel to the first one, but rather just a film in this new series of Godzilla films. And in those films, generally, a lot of monsters are made from parts of Godzilla, of the original Godzilla from the first film that was destroyed. Like Biolante, who's a giant flower. She's made from Godzilla genes. This Mechagodzilla is made from a Godzilla skeleton. Space Godzilla is made from Godzilla genes that are in space.
Wait, okay. I was trying to hold my questions to the end, but there's so many of them have built up. Why would it be beneficial Why would it be beneficial to have a Godzilla skeleton as the base of your robot? How is that good?
Well, I don't quite recall. It's been a while since I've seen that one.
Okay, all right.
I think the idea is that they're basically trying to engineer a god. Well, it's alive. First of all, the skeleton has like memories and can be interacted with.
Okay, all right.
Okay, but they're basically trying to come up with an anti-Godzilla weapon because in those Godzilla films in the 80s and 90s, it's all about Godzilla being a threat and menace. And how do we defend ourselves from Godzilla? And so Mechagodzilla is, in this telling, is a weapon, right? And that's how you see Mechagodzilla used for the remainder of its appearances. For example, in Godzilla Against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS, both of those, Mechagodzilla is a weapon created to fight Godzilla, usually from parts of the original Godzilla. Interestingly, when you have Mechagodzilla appear in Godzilla vs. Kong, spoilers for that movie that came out a few years ago, is both a weapon created to fight Godzilla and it is a cyborg King Ghidorah, essentially, because it's based on King Ghidorah's skull and skeleton and brainwaves or whatever. So I really find it interesting how that character has evolved over time from here's someone pretending to be Godzilla to what we have presently. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I do actually think it's really interesting the focus on the use of the original Godzilla's parts is like this sort of like totemic. The fact that they're from the original Godzilla lends them this like magical significance.
Yeah. And that's something I find really, because, so you basically have, depending on how you count, between 3 and 7 different continuities in these 3 series of films. Because you have the Showa era films where you have the first Godzilla, he gets killed, and then you have the 14 films that follow. You have the Heisei era films. I'm sure I mispronounced that. Apologies.
I think it's like Heisei. It's the same vowel sound in both.
Yeah. Oh wait, hang on. I gotta find out this investigation report.
All right, Volume 2. That colleague of mine managed to gain access to those confidential items. He says he can't bear keeping the secrets to himself. That seems like he is doing the wrong job. This is a bad position for a guy like that. So he's going to show me what he's found. What in the world could it be about? This is a real video game thing where you like get a document, but you get the pieces out of order. And
that
it's often
fun once, but this
it can definitely be useful for like filling in pieces of information while leaving you in the dark about connective tissue and stuff. It doesn't seem to me 3 sentences at a time like this is going to be all that. Okay, look at all the mush cargoes.
Okay. So the Heisei era films treat the first Godzilla film as having happened, but but 2 through 15 did not, and it has its own sequence, its own series of things that happen. And in the Millennium series, each film is a sequel to the first one with its own continuity.
Okay.
Except for Godzilla Against Mechagodzilla was so popular that the following year they made Tokyo SOS, which is a direct sequel to that one.
That's pretty bizarre.
It is.
So it's a weird way to do the thing.
It is a weird way to do the thing. And then some of the Millennium series are basically remakes, like Godzilla Mothra King Ghidorah All Out Monsters Attack. Did I get that right? Is basically a remake of Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. Probably the most well-known of the Showa era films. Certainly the best regarded of the kind of silly Godzilla films.
Most well-known, obviously. Who's not familiar with that old chestnut?
I mean, it got a lot of replay in the Sci-Fi Channel when I was growing up. You wouldn't remember this because you were too young, but saw it a lot. Slightly before my time, the Godzilla film that was on TV a lot was Godzilla vs. Megalon. So a lot of people associate Godzilla vs. Megalon as like a core Godzilla film for them. And that's the film that introduces Jet Jaguar, who is basically, we have Ultraman at home. But
so obviously it would be totally rad to destroy this gas tank. Oh, what am I doing? The Godzilla can stand here. I was like trying to figure out the math on how I would destroy this building without putting Godzilla in the way. But yeah, he can just walk around. He has enough movement for that. Look at that. It's perfect. I do love a big explosive.
I know. Something I love about you.
It's famously been a lot of trouble for me in the past, actually. Well, let's go. Let's just walk Godzilla out of the path of this monster. What is my plan for actual victory here? Because it feels like this is the thing. How much damage is that going to do? Yeah, that's a... Oh, no, that's fine. Because we're going to do one point of contact damage and 1 point of push damage. Yeah. That turns out to be totally correct. Never mind my doubts. I like when you're talking and you're giving a really like tremendously comprehensive history off the top of your head. Because it means I'm not vocalizing my like really back and forth doubt-filled thought process, and it probably looks like I'm much more competent than I am.
Okay.
What's fueling this? Why, it's probably all of the massive gas tanks. It's weird that there are so many of these just sitting around in the middle of these residential areas. Clear within 1 turn. Okay, well, it seems pretty obvious to me that this is going to be the first move. Mm-hmm. You definitely don't want to hit this one first because it will destroy Godzilla.
I like the gas tanks. Those seem like a lot of fun. And I would say that's a thing that I don't remember having something like that in Into the Breach. So it's nice to have a you know...
That's a wild way to do that. And then, of course, you know what time it is.
Yes! I love it so much. I do feel like when they're pushing him, he should do the rotate kick.
Yeah. That would have been a nice detail. Yeah.
Now, while I have you live on internet video...
Oh, God. Yeah?
Can I ask you an indulgence for some point in this video series before we are finished with the video series?
I'm familiar with the function of linear time, yes.
Can we... Could we spend a few minutes at some point before the end looking at the level builder? I know level building is not really a thing that you do on your channel, I don't think. I haven't watched all your videos yet. I'm working my way through them very slowly. But I just want to kind of see what it's like. And what the interface and tools are like. Not even just to make something, but just to, you know, to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is this not gonna push my Mechagodzilla into the... Dude, just brace yourself. Nope, he's okay. He's gone. That's fine. So here's the problem. All right, hold on. How do I make this work? Because Godzilla can only move to here. We do have to have this thing dead on the next turn. It feels like I need that Mechagodzilla to still be alive.
Yeah.
But there's not anywhere else I could spawn him where he would actually have any effect on... Okay, like this is definitely the first turn. There's no way this is not the first turn.
Okay.
And then we're going to have to destroy this and spawn the Mechagodzilla because Godzilla can't affect the mush cargo. And if I don't do it from this square, then there's no way to, yeah, it has to be here so that we can spawn the Mechagodzilla. But if we spawn the Mechagodzilla there, that's actually pretty bad news.
If Mechagodzilla fires his missiles towards the southwest.
No, I don't believe the, Oh, well, I guess, yeah, sorry. You're right. That's totally it. I was thinking that doesn't push, but we don't need to kill this thing this turn. We can just be patient. Yeah, I had it in my head that I was like, I was trying to get 1 kill per turn, but we can totally line this up and then just have Godzilla finish the job here on this turn. Good point. Thank you. Gotta correct my weird unspoken assumption there.
It is weird to see Godzilla and Mechagodzilla teaming up. That's never really happened.
Really?
But I like that because they've always been adversaries. He's always been treated as like his...
It makes sense that he's like the villain. He's introduced as the villain, but this definitely feels like the kind of thing where they would not have been able to resist making them have to team up for whatever in some way at some point because it's rad, because it's very obviously extremely rad.
I mean, the thing, if they were to do that, they probably would have done it like in a Showa era film, but the last 2 Showa era films are the Mechagodzilla films. Because at that point, no one's going to see them anymore. So they didn't really have a strong, opportunity to do that. I think the series they kept going, which I would have loved because I love the silly monster team up stuff so much. Not just for camp, but this is something that I've talked about with you before.
Yeah.
It's the Showa era films. Those monsters were like a strong point of identification for me as a very strange, sheltered, autistic child, and so I would love for I much prefer that to like the gritty Godzilla, the villainous Godzilla. I know it's not as good as like Godzilla as metaphor, but it's also a movie about a giant lizard, so I don't really need to be as good, you know?
Trying to figure this out.
Of course, Rodan can fly over the magma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a flying guy.
How do we not take damage here? Oh, this thing's gonna attack before that thing does. I don't actually have to stop. That's how. This monster will turn off that monster. We don't have to worry about them this turn. So let's spawn... I think it's going to have to be an Anguirus, because Rodan will only deal 1 point of damage to him. But Anguirus gets the contact damage and the knockback damage. Okay, here's a question. Does this work the way I want it to? It does. He has no time to fall into the lava. have 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this does work the way I want it to. Now we get to finish the level with a classic. It's unstoppable. There is no counter to the flying Godzilla. It's why he learned that kick in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And we held a point of G power. Because we didn't have a choice. Because there was an odd amount of it in the stage. Alright, let's clear skies with periodic gas tanks. What a name for a thing. Alright, well, this first part seems pretty straightforward.
Oh, 1 turn, huh?
Godzilla needs to be rescued. I'll save him. Alright. And then Godzilla runs over here and destroys this building, which gets me 1 entire Rodan. And it doesn't actually matter who we summon. It does matter. It does matter. Rodan actually cannot solve this problem. I gotta say, you know, the because it is the 10th stage, it has that like slightly more prominent presentation on the world map, and so I thought, oh, it's gonna be a mini boss or something. Mm-hmm. But actually, it was a trivially easy stage. I just feel like with it having this bigger outline and everything, I guess because it's the level that opens up the backside of the board.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it should maybe have been a little more challenging. Okay, we'll worry about this later. I think we're meeting another friend here.
Oh.
This is one of my, I've never seen a movie with this this monster in it, but it is one of my favorite, just like visual designs.
Yeah.
So
Well, she's only been in 1 movie.
Okay.
That's why.
What is the right way to approach this?
Well, what does she do?
She uses vines to deal 1 damage to a distant enemy, obviously. So it's gonna have to be a Rodan. This is where you have to do a Rodan solution here. Because we have to get you way out of here. Thanks for the G Fuel, sucker. G That's what it is, right? It's G Fuel.
Yeah.
Delicious Mountain Dew G Fuel.
So I really appreciate that they have, you know, this is kind of a deep cut monster. Right? So only appeared in the 1 film. It's in one of the Heisei era films. So this raises hopes that we will see like a Destroyer. I love a Destroyer. I would not want to see a Space Godzilla. That'd be bad.
We're good, right? We have both of our spawns blocked. All of our nests are clear. I think we just want to hold this G power for points.
Oh, but we haven't defeated the... Oh, no, we haven't.
Yeah, there was a spawn underneath that.
Okay.
Is this a deep... Like, I am familiar with I keep saying, like, this monster because I actually don't know. Is it like a Spanish, like, Bionte, or do you pronounce the L's?
I think you pronounce the L's. I always pronounce the L's.
It's weird that it's doubled, then.
Yeah. But she's not Spanish.
No, that's fair. I don't know. They pull inspiration from a lot of places, okay?
So she is a plant monster who's genetically engineered from Godzilla's DNA.
Yes, as you mentioned.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Pull targets to tiles adjacent to her own. Targets located on the other side of obstacles can be pulled toward her. Okay. So we want to do one of these. And it remains the case, voxelized, still the coolest look of any of the monsters we've had so far.
Yeah. I really want to see how they handle Guy Down. But, yeah. Biolante has, like, one of my favorite designs of... I think probably my favorite Godzilla monster design that's, you know, not like a Mothra.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely, as far as like monster designs go, like I'm a big fan of a lot of the Gamera series actually. You got like Giron with the big knife, and you got Iris is like a really good, really kind of modernized design that I find just really compelling and cool to look at. Biolante is basically so, you know, she was like the first new monster in that era. Now in the Godzilla vs. Mothra one, they had Batra, which is like, what if Mothra was a bat? It's not a really compelling design.
Not a great name either. It's a very lazy name.
Yeah. Then you get Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla is no good. Destroy is rad. Destroy is a rad design.
I really like how much you don't like Space Godzilla. Every time Space Godzilla comes up, it's like we had to take a second to go, also, that shit sucks.
Oh, Space Godzilla, I had to watch the movie in stages. Like, it has the most boring, incomprehensible plot, and it's just very slowly paced. And Space Godzilla is not a very compelling villain.
Oh, this is fun. We have to use Godzilla as a wall here. That's nice, like setting him up as a barrier so Biolante can pull enemies to the correct space, I think is neat. Mm-hmm. Please feel free to go on, though. I didn't mean to cut you off. The thing about a lot of the gameplay this episode, people may have noticed, is that focusing on the sort of like the light world levels, the overworld levels, that Vine is very funny. Focusing on sort of the light world levels early on in the game here, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
We were finding some challenge in the underside levels, and we will be going back to those next time. But I wanted to just sort of like focus on getting some distance into the game, unlocking characters, and seeing more stuff. And yeah, really tearing through this.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will get more challenging. And we know they have some more interesting puzzles in mind because we've seen deeper in the game. Yeah. Godzilla is in the lava.
Oh, that's not good.
Can somebody please?
And certainly the plot for this is, I mean, it feels very much like because of the child protagonist playing with his or her or their Godzilla toys. Mm-hmm. It feels like these are puzzles made for children to a degree. So
yeah, it's possible. It's possible that we are just playing a game for babies. Listen, I'm not gonna. Let me pull back the curtain here. Just kind of inside baseball it. Like, the publisher reached out to me and they were like, "Hey, do you want a key for our sick Godzilla game?" And I was like, "Well, they use they name drop Into the Breach in the email."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I know how much you love Godzilla and
Yeah.
and also Into the Breach. I was like, that sounds perfect. I didn't ask them if the game was hard.
Yeah, I know.
And mayhap I should have. But I don't know. I'm digging it. It's just, this level's been pretty straightforward. Or this episode. The Mustache Room increases the HP of all units on its team beside itself. Okay.
And I'll say that, those Dark World levels that you were playing, they are much more the kind of levels that I'm used to seeing you play. The kind of puzzles I'm used to seeing you engage with. So I'm looking forward to those. I'm also looking forward to meeting more monsters, though, is the thing.
I am curious whether killing this thing will cause that extra health effect to wear off. But for the moment, it's not like super relevant because, we can hurl an enemy into the lava. I probably want to just grab a building, right? Like, it feels to me like maybe this is the move here. Oh, do you not? No, you don't actually deal damage. It's the damage always comes from the pull. Well then, in that case, go get me some field reports. And just hug this building. Yeah. My suspicion is we're going to be pulling the Mustache Room over to here. Like, I'm going to want to be in these squares. Right, because then we can do this thing, which totally deals damage. This is 3 damage, or 3 health building. If I pull that thing, I'm assuming I would pull it all the way over to like floating above the lava, which obviously is not ideal. Let's make sure. Yeah, it will, because it's a flying enemy. So if that's the case, if that's what that's gonna do, I probably want you to move somewhere else. Probably want you to, at the very least, like pull it all the way down here or something. We need some way to clear this building off, right? So that I can get my Mecha Godzilla. So we could do a double pull next turn with the Biolantes to force it this way and then force it that way. I don't know though. I'm like a little concerned. It does not feel to me like we are going to have the ability, the damage output to finish everything off here. I mean, I guess you can just block this. Doesn't feel super meaningful. So I was just shit talking the puzzles. So they had to give me one that's like actually something.
Yeah.
So this thing has to get killed. Yeah, we're going to have to give this one some more serious consideration because there's actually a lot to destroy here. So from this point, like, it's pretty easy to pull that thing into the lava. That feels like it's right. But we're going to have to maybe move this thing around. We have to figure out how to kill this thing when it would mostly the only ways we have of affecting it for a lot of the puzzle can't deal any damage under normal circumstances. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting challenge. I think we're going to call it here for today because we have breached the hour already. But that's going to be it for us for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. And when you come back next time, we're going to solve this more difficult puzzle, and I'm going to try not to chew the crow that I'm eating too loudly into the microphone. So thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, Mustache Room. Apparently, it's an actual problem. And we'll see you then.
Bye.